Is it a little bit more acclimatized? Does it change things at all from your perspective, body clocks and that sort of thing?
Well, the result part first, because you began to ask your question with that, and no, the results weren't what we wanted, but the input and the process, if you will, leads to results, and we're a lot more concerned about that right now. We addressed some things here today in practice. I thought we had a good practice. So we've got some work to do. We felt good coming out of the preseason. We gave a bit of it back in that first game, but we'll work here in Boston and get ready to play against a good team. As far as coming back over the ocean and readjusting, I'm not sure how the players feel completely today. I talked to a few of them, some good, some not so good. I feel better coming back personally than I did going over. And we have a number of days that we can readjust. So sometimes it's too much time as well. You end up in one city for a while and you don't play till Thursday. So there won't be any excuses when the game rolls around.
You didn't overreact when the team had a 6-1 preseason. Conversely, you got to make sure you don't overreact to there were tough stretches in that game against New Jersey.
There was a lot of tough stretches, and as I mentioned earlier, the result was one thing, but the process towards that result is what we're working on. And I thought for segments early in the game, other than getting scored on right away, we did some of the things we wanted to do. We gave a lot of it back in the second period. Got desperate in the last 10 minutes, but the game was out of control. So a lot of emotional swings with our team, and that's something we got to learn to control. I didn't think we played with the tenacity and pace that the other team played with, and I'm not sure which comes first. Do you need to be quicker and the tenacity will be there, or does tenacity lead to pace? And we talked about it today. We saw a lot of it in practice. So if we can do it here, we can certainly do it in the game.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, any update there for us?
Just a maintenance day for him. He got dinged up a little bit in the game in Gothenburg, and with the flight yesterday, it just wasn't a good idea for him to skate. We practiced one more time on today's Monday, Wednesday, and expect him to be on the ice at that point.
Okay, you split up the defense pairings, at least the second and third pairings.
Yeah,
Don't read too much.
We have 7, so you're always going to see split guys right now. It was evident that there was one pair that struggled a lot when it came to puck moving and preventing. We've dealt with that and talked to them. But as a group, we have to move pucks better. We have to defend better, be a little bit quicker, and I think there's some offense that can be created from that group as well. So that's only one segment of the team. There's the goaltending, the forwards, and the coaching staff that all can sharpen up a little bit.
You did a progression in terms of the drill. You went from in terms of breaking out the puck, 1 forechecker to 2 forecheckers to 3, and then activated the D in the last round there. How did you think your group handled that? Did you like the puck moving better as the practice went on?
I thought we woke up and got our legs underneath us, and I thought the intensity was what we needed from our players. So what happens in practice, you learn some lessons, you learn a few things about your forecheck, what makes it effective, where it can break down, and you get a chance to set them up for failure and for success. And when we went with few numbers, we saw that the forecheck would fail. As we added numbers and we did the things that we were supposed to do and reacted the way we're supposed to react, it had a chance at success. So work on it, lessons learned. Can we apply them in the game on Thursday?
Manning had a tough night, but do people jump on a young defenseman a little too quickly, or is he playing above his station in the second pairing?
Well, you're talking about an individual. I would say that pair had a tough night. And, they're both still generally young defensemen as far as games played. They are playing big minutes, and that's part of growing up. Eventually, in years 2 and 3 of your career, maybe 4, you really got to assume that role. And you've got to pick your spots when you want to go on offense. Those two should be primetime defenders. They should be able to shut other teams' offensive players down. They should be good penalty killers. They should be able to initiate breakouts and move pucks up ice. I think they can both play physical. They've got a lot of the tools. It's a tough night for them.
Were they just too quick to them, or it seemed like Matt especially
they made mistakes.
Was spinning around like, oh.
They made mistakes. Sometimes you're over physical. You're running out of position. They made mistakes.
Milan Lucic, and I know you alluded to this after the game, but just even watching him practice today, finishing every drill to completion and that sort of thing, does he seem to have a different energy level this year at this stage than maybe he had as he concluded the season last year? And is it something you can pick up and watching him in practice?
Well, you can see it in practice. I thought last year, as the year went on in practices, he had frustration, but he works hard in every drill. He doesn't cheat himself or the team, so he gave everything he had. He's got a little more polish this year. He seems to have quicker hands, and his feet are a little bit faster. I don't know if there's a big physical change in him, but I'm sure there's a mental one, and he's starting the season fresh. He's played quite well, and we're happy for him because we need him to be a factor, and thus far he's the least of our worries.
Brodziak, he seems to have struggled.
Yeah, Kyle's still finding his way with a new team and maybe some new systems, new words. He's played a lot of games. Sometimes those guys take a little bit longer to get going. The pace of the games and the early energy has affected him a little bit. I think the opposition's been pretty quick. So he's figured things out, and he'll get it done. We're going to trust him in face-off circle. We're going to trust him on the penalty kill. Shift quality and understanding of how the game is played in that fourth line role is going to be important. But I think there's more there.
And Yamo, first, what do you think over there?
I thought Yamo had a good game. He kept a lot of plays alive. He was around the net. He had some scoring chances. Listening to the new coaches talk about him, if he continues to do the things he did, he'll get a chance to score. I didn't think he was a big liability defensively. A little miscommunication on the first goal with Leon, but other than that, he gave us what he had.